right, it's been several weeks since we've been with you, but we are back with the latest edition of Talon Talk. We have welcomed our student athletes back in over the last couple of weeks. We've gotten used to a little bit more about what the schedules are going to look like this year as the NAI has made decisions to move the fall championships to the spring, and we have now seen subsequent decisions from the conference. We'll take a look at what that means for the schedules for each of our sports, and as much as we know right now, a little bit later in today's episode. First, Carter Moles, our sports information assistant, will sit down with women's soccer head coach Pritchard Ndira, as well as women's soccer standout senior Taylor Strength. That's our feature program on this episode. Stay tuned for more on the other side on this edition of Talon Talk.
Coming to Montgomery, October 1st for one night only.
Spying on any American is a big deal. I can't think of a worse way to investigate something than to have Congress do it.
Faulkner University presents Representative Trey Gowdy at its annual benefit dinner.
In politics, it's just about winning. And I mean, the Constitution gives the House no role in deciding how this trial takes place.
Order your tickets today at faulkner.edu or by calling 386-7257.
A&P Automotive is family owned and in the same location since 1985. We strive to be your one-stop shop for all your auto needs. You don't have to spend big money for a nice car. Our prices start at $3,995. We have several lenders and in-house financing available. Visit us online at anpautomotive.com.
All right, here joined by women's soccer head coach Pritchard Ndira. Lady Eagles off of a really, really good season last year, 8-1, their best season in about 7 or 8 years since they made the national tournament back in 2012. Coach, welcome in.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. So off the start, the first thing that jumps out to me this year is y'all's schedule. A weird schedule considering that we usually play everything in the fall, but now it's a split season. How did you go about making this schedule?
Well, it's been a very difficult and challenging experience because we had to put together a schedule about 3 or 4 times, and we just had to keep changing it. So we're just blessed and fortunate that we're able to have some kind of schedule and we're able to play some kind of game. So we just really grateful that we do have a schedule now, and it looks like that's going to be set going forward.
So one thing we mentioned just a moment ago, 9 of the 14 teams on this schedule were in the national tournament field this year. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say you'll be hard-pressed to find a harder schedule in the country. What about this schedule excites you? Why such a tough schedule?
Well, I'm just excited, first of all, to have a schedule, like I said, because it's just been a really, really challenging time to find a schedule. So I'm happy with every team that we're playing. We like you said, we're playing a very, very competitive schedule. But if we want to play at that level, we do need to play some of the teams that are going to challenge us and they're going to push us. And I think every team we have on our schedule is going to challenge us in different ways. And hopefully we hope that we can get better playing those teams. And all those teams, they wanted to play us as well. So we're hoping that we will challenge them as well to get better. So it's a great schedule for our players. I know coming from last year, we were kind of disappointed with the way we finished. I felt like we were not prepared to face some of the top teams in our conference. So we're hoping that playing top 5 teams in the country week in and week out is going to help us push in the conference play.
You mentioned just how tough the conference was last year. 2 of those conference members are now gone. But you had 5 of the 6 that made the conference tournament field, or it was 4 or 5. I always get them mixed up on the men's and women's side. But the meat of the conference made the national tournament last year. Just barely miss out on the conference tournament, where most everyone's going to the tournament. And you open up the season with Southeastern, and then you play a little bit later on in the season, you play Martin Methodist, 2 teams that are perennial powerhouses. Martin Methodist, a team that we are very familiar with here. What is it about playing the Red Hawks up in Pulaski that excites you, with it being a non-conference matchup for the first time in several years?
Well, so it's a different feel. We always had to play them because we were in the same conference, but now we're playing them because we want to play them, and they want to play us as well. So it's always good. But especially with last year's game, I felt like we played really well. We finished the first half 0-0, and they scored 3 goals in about 10 minutes. So we played really well against them. So it'll be a good chance for us to get a second chance, so to speak, to go against them and see if we can maybe correct our weaknesses. And of course, it's always great to play against a good team, and that will help our girls and help the team to become better as well.
And you open the season with the Southeastern Fire, a team that last 2 years has been national semifinalists. They lost in the semifinals to the eventual champion. A really, really tough team, a team that just graduated a girl who played on the Nigerian national team during the World Cup. Like a really quality program. What about starting the season? I know some coaches like to start with a little bit easier of a game, but you're going for one of the top dogs off the jump. What about that is inspiring how the way preseason's being played right now?
No, it's been great, and it's always good to start on a high note. I think Southeastern is a great program, it's a good team, and it's going to be the standard of the nation, of what the top teams in the nation. So it's good for especially our younger girls. We have a lot of freshmen that we're expecting to be playing. So they need to see what the level is and what the standard is and what we're aiming for. So I think it's a great way for us to see where we are and just to see what some of the top teams are like and how we do against them. So it'll be a good start to the season. I couldn't ask for a better team to start the season with.
Yeah. So starting the season on the first day, we can start official competition. Y'all have gone ahead and started preseason. Who's jumped out so far, whether it be a returner or a handful of players, returner, newbies? Who are some of the players that have really stuck out and look to be some difference makers this year?
So everybody has been really working hard and doing what we've asked for them to do. I'm excited with the returners that are coming in. First of all, just having the patience. I know we have a 5th-year senior in Taylor, and she stuck around for 5 years. That takes a lot, and I'm glad she's back and she's with us. So I do appreciate the returners and just having faith in the program. It hasn't been an easy time, but they've really been patient and really stuck through with us. So I'm glad to have them back, and of course they've played together more. So now they look much better and they're more comfortable with each other, and that will make them stronger. And for the new players as well, they've trusted us. We're not. We didn't have the greatest record in the country, especially 2 years ago. But they had faith in the school and the team here. So just grateful to have people that believe in what we're doing, that believe in what Faulkner offers, and it's just exciting to see that people are willing to to believe in this program and what the future holds for us.
Yeah, really exciting stuff. I mean, you inherited a program that had really been struggling over the last few years, and then had a rough go at it your first year, and then the second year, you're a 500 team. Now coming into conference play this year, which will be in the spring, what advantages, disadvantages do you see in playing your conference slate in the spring in such a tough conference as the SSAC?
One of the challenges, I would say, we didn't have a lot of control over the schedule because it is a split season. So we didn't control who we play before our conference games. So that would be a challenge, but every team in the country that's playing in the spring and the fall is going through the same. So it's a challenge that we all have to face and deal with. And also having a spring and a fall season is a first for us, because we are used to playing all 20 games or 18 games in 3 months. So now we have to play it over 6 months. So that's going to be a challenge to stay motivated throughout the season, because you don't want to be doing very well at the beginning, then do very bad at the end. So just finding the consistency is going to be a challenge, something new to the coaching staff and the players as well. But I think the great things that come out of it is we only usually had 3 months with the players in season. So now we have a longer time, more time with the players. So they'll get to know, to learn what we're looking and what we're asking for them to do. And also we'll get to see what they can do because we do have more time. So I'm excited just to spend more time with the players and just get to learn them a little bit more. And hopefully playing together longer will help us be more effective and be a better team overall.
Yeah, you mentioned how just having that extra time to mesh and get ready before conference. How important is that to a team that is still relatively very young? Granted, from last year to this year, a lot more returners. We'll probably see a lot more familiar faces on the field than we saw last year at the beginning of the season. How will that help your team, whether it's meshing together, just learning the system, whatever it is? How will that help having that extra time before conference gets cranked up?
So it's going to be a big help. Last year we had 19 freshmen come in, and we only had 2 weeks before our first game. So really 2 weeks is not a good time for us to know the players and for them to know what we're wanting to do. And that showed last year as well in the way we played. We looked a little bit disconnected just because we had so many new players and then so many new things that are going on. So it was very difficult to be unified because of the time restrictions, of course. And so this year, being able to have the players for 3 months before the conference play starts is just going to be great. And we do have a bigger we have about 17 freshmen that are coming in as well. So we still have a pretty good amount of new players that are here with us and that we need to learn from, and that need to learn our system and what we want to play. So this is just going to be a great time for us to have everybody on board before conference starts.
Really exciting stuff for the women's soccer program this year. One last thing as we kind of wrap up. We made the announcement yesterday. All of the fall home games for the varsity team will be played at the Emory Fulmer YMCA Soccer Complex. What will be different, unique about that that you're looking forward to, and how exciting will it be in the spring when we'll hopefully be able to get back on our own field?
Yeah, so we're obviously excited about being back on our field in the spring, hopefully. So that would be great. But we just looking forward to playing at Emerald Former. Of course, it is the tournament side for the conference championship, so which is exciting to kind of play on that field. And it is a nice facility, nice grass facility as well. So we're just looking forward to be playing at that stadium and on that quality pitch. And I know the players are going to enjoy playing there as well. And hopefully we'll be playing there again at the end of the conference schedule in the playoffs.
Absolutely. That's head coach Pritchard Indira. Lady Eagles getting ready to start their season September 5th against the Southeastern Fire. Coach, appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
We'll be back on the other side. You're watching Talon Talk.
Connections matter now more than ever. At Guardian Credit Union, we live to make connections, to provide hope, to strengthen our communities, to create stronger financial future. These connections happen in our credit union, in serving our communities, and even in the small moments of sharing a bench with a neighbor. Connect to your goals. Connect to your community. Connect with Guardian.
Bless the corners of this house and be the lintel blessed. Bless the hearth and every board and each place of rest, and every door that opens wide to stranger as to kin, and every crystal window pane that lets the starlight in. At home, I'm going home for solace and safety, home where the world will not break me, home. Never forsake me, take me home.
Welcome back to Talon Talk. Joined now by women's soccer fifth-year senior Taylor Strength. Taylor, welcome in.
Hey.
Taylor, you've been with this program coming up on your fifth year now. What have you enjoyed the most? Tell us a little bit about why you first came to Faulkner and what your 4 years that you played so far and what you hope your fifth is going to be like.
So I chose to come to Faulkner, I guess, 4.5 years ago now, and I was looking at some places, and the first time I stepped foot on Faulkner's campus and met with the team, I was like, okay, this is the place for me. This is where I feel like I could make my home for the next several years. So, I mean, it was just like a gut feeling that this is the place that I belong. So I trusted my gut, came to Faulkner. You know, at my first year, I was a redshirt. I tore my ACL before I came in. So I couldn't play at all my first year, which at the time, you know, was really tough on me, just sitting out, watching everyone else playing. But I stuck with it and finally got to play, and the past 4 years have been an adventure, to say the least. I mean, a lot has happened over the past 4 years, and which I'm all extremely grateful for. And now, my fifth year, I'm more excited than I have been in the previous 4 years to start off the season. So a lot has happened, but something about this upcoming season, I'm really excited. One, because it's my senior year, and two, the team that has come in is really exciting. So
Yeah. So, what is it about this team that, and even just over the past couple of years, has kind of changed in terms of the motivation, in terms of the just like team psyche, all of that kind of stuff, and how have you played a part in that?
So I think this year in particular, we have a lot of new faces. Just like last year, we had basically a whole new team last year. But this season, we have a lot of those returners from last season, along with some of the newcomers, and it finally feels like everything is starting to mesh together. We have the experience mixed in with, the new freshmen. They come in, they're super excited, and the players that we do have, they've just already invested themselves in what the team is trying to do, what coach wants from us. So everyone seems to be on board with, winning games, which is, what we're here to do. So
how important has it been for you being a senior this year and being a part of a team that really has had a ton of turnover? So being 5 years in this program now, what kind of role do you think you'll be able to play as a leader on this team?
So with, I guess you can say, the experience that I've had with all of the challenges our team has faced over the years, I definitely think I bring a different type of wisdom. Sorry, my screen just cut out. A wisdom in a sense, and whether that be how I communicate with my teammates, on the field, off the field, the lessons that I've learned over the years through some of the trials our team has faced. I think it makes me know how blessed I am to be here. So especially with the circumstances of our season being, we're not sure if we'll even have a season in the spring. So it's taking the lessons that I've learned from the past and being grateful for each and every day that I do get to be here to play soccer. So
You mentioned
hopefully I can.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. So hopefully I can use the lessons I've learned and translate that to the new players, which will hopefully motivate them to, be competitive, have the same desire that I do to win games and, make our mark as a team on our conference, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You mentioned the split season, how we'll be playing in the spring. How do you prepare for that differently now that you're not entering an 18-game sprint in three months, and it's now 18 games over about the entire school year?
Yes. So I am in a unique situation because I was supposed to graduate this December, and so I will have finished all of my classes, and the plan for me has been graduate in December, get married in March. But now with the postponement of our conference schedule to the spring, it puts me in a situation where I've had to do a lot of thinking, like, what is it that I really want? And one of my biggest dreams is to play all 4 years. It seems simple, but just getting to play as long as possible and finish out my 4 years has been something that I've dreamed of and wanted to accomplish since my freshman year when I was hurt for so long. So, all of my life plans, they're, up in the air right now. But with that being said, I'm trying to take everything that has been placed on me and just try to take it all in and be grateful that I have the opportunity to keep playing in the spring, whether that means if I have to still take classes, even though I will have finished all my classes for my degree. I'm scheduled to get married in the middle of our season, so I'm just trying to, think of all the positives and just be grateful that I have the opportunity to do all of these things that I love all at the same time. So
Yeah, it really is a unique situation that you're in because all those different circumstances you outlined. And then, like, if you just look at strictly the athletic and academic side of things, where, okay, I'm out of classwork for my degree plan, but I still need to do classes in order to play. Oh, and I'm also getting married on top of that. That's a lot going on. So how do you handle that mentally, just physically? How do you handle just the stress and the confusion of this time?
honestly, it is really a lot to take in, and it's so much that I've been telling myself all of this is out of my control. There's only so much that I can control. So thankfully, I have friends, family, teammates, and I've spoken with Coach Pritchard as well. Like, everyone has been telling me that they're going to take care of me. Everything's going to work out exactly as it's supposed to. And I'm just holding on to that faith that I know everything is going to be okay. So when I start to get stressed out, I just remind myself of that.
That's awesome, and I think that's one of the things you pointed out about Faulkner at the beginning, that like it's just the community and the friendship, that
It is.
it's more than just the wins and the losses. It's more than what happens between the lines. It's the relationships, it's the friendships, it's the trust that you can have on each other and helping each other up. And we're looking back on what has been probably the longest 4 years of our life since March. What have you done to pass the time? Like, just how have you handled the shutdown and starting back at school with all the uncertainty if any of this is actually going to happen?
So at the beginning of our initial quarantine, when all of us were stuck in our houses, I think I did what everyone else did. I just took the time to take advantage of the opportunity to rest and relax because during soccer season, and I'm always so busy, so it was weird to not have anything to do. So I tried to take advantage of that. So, I spent my time relaxing, watching TV. I still, did all my workouts during that time. And then eventually I went back to work over the summer. So I did thankfully have a job that I was able to go and work at. So I spent a lot of time working, and then after work, I go home, do my workouts, eat dinner, go to bed, do it all over again. So pretty boring and routine, but that's what I did.
Having routine during that is impressive, honestly, because it was hard to find any sort of routine whatsoever. So, what about, like, do you know what kind of drove you to keep doing everything in a routine and not fall into the rut that so many of us have?
So during this season of quarantine and the unknown, and even before, throughout the past 4 years that I've been here, I've had this like vision in my head of how good I want to be as a player. I have this vision for myself that of what my full potential is, and I basically will not be satisfied until I can achieve the goals that I have for myself. So having that, I guess you can call it dream goals, it really just like kind of motivated me to keep pushing, even though like I could have easily just, sat on the couch and done nothing and moped around. But I think over the years I've developed a discipline, which that has been what I've relied on to make sure I get all my workouts and all my ball work in. So it's maybe less motivation and more of like a discipline, so which is still really challenging at times, but it's just my mindset, I guess.
All right, last question. Let me wrap up here. What are some of those goals that you have set for this season? You as a person, and then if there are like larger team goals that you'd like to see accomplished.
Yeah, so personally, I don't have like a goal like, oh, I want to win something in particular. I just want to play to my full potential every single game. I've put in a lot of work and dedication to my self-development over the past few years. So just to see all of that hard work come together is like what one of my goals for myself is. Also, as being captain, I have the responsibility of helping my teammates do the same thing. So my job is to motivate, lead, encourage. My screen keeps going out. To help my teammates have that mindset to accomplish the same thing. So one of my other goals is to just be the best leader, the best example that I can be for my team, especially since we do have so many young players. I know that they're looking at me to set that example for them. And for the team goals, I mean, obviously, I want us to win games. That's what we're here to do. And I have full confidence in our team and the players that coach has brought in that we will be able to accomplish that this season and be competitive and play some great games. So it's really exciting to see the development of the team over the past few years. So I'm really excited to see how things are going to be, how we're going to play.
All right, that is Taylor Strength, fifth year or a redshirt senior for the women's soccer team, going to be a captain. Watch her out for number 23 on the defensive line for the Lady Eagles this year. Taylor, thanks for joining us. And,
thank you.
And we'll be back on this other side of Talon Talk.
Did you know that 100% of Faulkner's computer science graduates
since 2014 have found jobs
in their fields within 6 months of graduating?
It's a great time to be a computer scientist. Everyone is walking around with a computer in their pocket in the form of a smartphone, and it takes software developers to make those things work.
I built church websites, and through the training and instruction that I received from Faulkner, I was able to go right into my career after graduation.
It laid a solid foundation for what you need to know.
I'm getting a lot of hands-on experience within my field, and also they're just giving me a wide variety of options of things that I might want to pursue in the future.
In the state of Alabama alone, there are over 4,000 tech-related jobs available. And the preparation that you receive at Faulkner University will allow you to go to work almost anywhere as a software developer. It's a great time to be a Faulkner Eagle, and it's a great time to be a computer scientist. I hope you'll come and join us.
Hi, my name is Mikey Peavy. I'm the third generation here at A&P Auto. Looking for a good used pickup truck? We got them. A good used car? We got them. A good SUV? We got them. Come see us at A&P Automotive today.
All right, welcome back to Talon Talk. Ready to wrap up this edition. Thank you so much to Carter Moles, to Pritchard and Dyra, to Taylor Strength for taking the time to join us. We've got some more things coming up for you this week and in coming weeks from a new endeavor that we are launching called FSN Now. That's FSN Now. It will be a product largely available on IGTV and social media platforms. It is a 3 to 5 minute, that's the design anyway, a 3 to 5 minute show that takes a look at all of what is going on in the athletic department very quickly. It'll be game highlights, it'll be stats, it'll be quick athlete interviews. And we're looking to drop that twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. So stay tuned for more information on FSN Now. As always, go to our website, faulknereagles.com, for the latest on everything. Speaking of faulknereagles.com, I want to go ahead and show you here the latest information that we have available regarding the schedules as they presently exist. So again, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the NAIA has moved its fall championships to the spring, and that has allowed each conference and each sport individually to make its own decisions about when it will play. The SSAC released its championship schedule earlier this week. That information is out, and so now we are seeing that the volleyball championship is in April. We're seeing that the fall sports are established, and that has allowed each of our teams to make a decision about what they're going to do. We'll start with volleyball. Volleyball is going to play the entirety of its schedule in the spring. Presently, it has no non-conference games scheduled in the fall, even though they are allowed to do that. But Coach Tori Renda will contain all of that schedule in the spring, and we will get you more information on that whenever we get closer to time and we have a schedule out. As you heard earlier from Pritchard and Dyra talking about their schedule, we'll show you that on the screen here real quick. You've got Southeastern University here on September the 5th. That is the first game of the season. Also scheduled to host Virginia Beach Sports Academy in a scrimmage on September the 25th. Those are both at the Emery-Fulmer YMCA soccer complex here in Montgomery, as we still have turf work going on the field at Billy D. Hillier Stadium. Road games for Pritchard and Dyra's squad, October the 10th at Martin Methodist, October the 24th at Life, and October the 31st at Mobile. They will host William Carey, a conference opponent, in a non-conference game on October the 17th. That's also the case for Mobile, a conference opponent in a non-conference game. So Pritchard and Dyra has built himself quite the schedule here in the fall leading into the spring. If you look at this run of games right here, it's very, very impressive. Southeastern, Martin Methodist, William Carey, Life, University of Mobile, Kaiser, Georgia Gwinnett, and then into the conference play, Mobile, William Carey, Georgia Gwinnett again, Dalton State, Middle Georgia State, Bruton Parker, Florida College, Thomas University. That is a hefty schedule, and as you heard earlier, Pritchard and Dyra feels pretty good about this team. And the schedule for women's soccer right there for you on FaulknerEagles.com. Also, the men's soccer schedule as it presently exists. And again, some of this is always subject to change, not just because we're in a coronavirus era, but because they have some flexibility to add games as they need to. Pensacola Christian is the first opponent for the men's soccer team, September the 10th in Pensacola. 2 days later, right back here in Montgomery at the Emery-Fulmer Soccer Complex over at the YMCA. Pensacola Christian, Saturday, September 12th. Mississippi University for Women, don't be fooled. It's the Mississippi University for Women, but they have plenty of male students and they have male sports. And so our soccer team will travel to see them in Columbus, Mississippi, Friday, September the 25th. And then a non-conference game against a conference foe in Mobile, at Mobile, October the 10th. That is the men's soccer schedule. We're still awaiting the football schedule. That is going to be released by the Mid-South Conference. It will be played entirely in the spring semester. We'll get you that information as it comes available. The next things that we have set are our basketball schedules, and there is some subject to change there. They are looking to add games where they can for both men's and women's basketball. But presently, the information we've gotten from the NAI is that we are going to be able to start basketball season at the regular time in October. And as such, our women's basketball team here will take on Dillard in New Orleans on October the 27th. You see Judson, the first home game on Friday, October the 30th, part of a 7-stretch run or 7 straight home games here for the Lady Eagles. Judson, Pensacola Christian, Rust, Birmingham Southern Life, Crowley's Ridge, and Freed Hardeman. Birmingham Southern and Life, part of the Jimmy Faulkner Classic. Crowley's Ridge and Freed Hardeman, part of the newly christened Christian College Classic. We'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. On the men's basketball side, you've got Southeastern Baptist and Florida Memorial. You've got Huntingdon, Crowley's Ridge, Freed Hardeman, and then the first road game is actually still here in Montgomery. They will go to Huntingdon. One quick note for you here, the Battle at the Beach, which last year was in Panama City. We were looking at Jacksonville this year, but because of coronavirus, there are some complications with facilities there. And there's a strong possibility that this tournament will actually be played in Montgomery. That's Thanksgiving week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll have more information for you on that as it becomes available. But again, FaulknerEagles.com, your home for all things related to our athletic department. Thank you so much again to Pritchard Naira and to Taylor Strength, as well as Sports Information Assistant Carter Moles for taking care of us today. And next week, we'll start to give you a little bit broader of a look at the athletic department, where we move from featuring one program to multiple coaches as we get into seasons. Thank you so much again for taking the time to watch this episode. Have a great weekend, and God bless you.